And even when it was extended until September, I was like, okay, that's perfect. I get a couple more months of a paycheck.
Yeah.
Then I'll just immediately start, taking grad classes. Um, but yeah, so no, I was not doing both at the same time. I don't think I would have been able to survive had I been doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. And does that boot camp like guarantee you a job or something, or help you finding a job afterwards?
They do help you
Mhm.
find, like, they give us career coaches that we work
Okay.
with afterwards. But I don't know that it's like I don't know if they say it's a guarantee, and I don't want to like
Yeah. No,
misspeak.
no, yeah, let's wipe that out. It's not a guarantee, but like do they help you with job
Yeah,
hunting? Yeah.
yes, yes. The onus really is on you though. Like they map out a plan and they give you a career coach, um,
Okay.
who like is there to answer questions and to like help look over your resume and to help like with mock interviews and things like that. But um, it really is on the student to like look for jobs and like put yourself out there. So they'll give you the roadmap, but they're not gonna walk you. They're not like gonna necessarily hold your hand through everything because our career coaches also have like many other
Yeah,
students that they're working with.
students.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like you you definitely have to I guess put it on yourself to make that effort and find the next thing that you're gonna do.
Okay. So did thinking back to September, at that point, did you feel like confident that you could start applying for maybe data science roles now that you finished the boot camp? Like you felt like you had the tools in your little toolbox after finishing the boot camp to go ahead and start applying.
Um, so the boot camp finished this past February.
Oh, February. You started it in
Yeah,
September. Oh, sorry,
I
sorry.
yeah,
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. Sorry, like the timeline, everything happened like boom, boom, boom.
Oh,
I
okay.
like
So in February, did you feel like
yeah.
you were ready?
Honestly, no. Imposter syndrome. I will say, imposter syndrome is very real. So no, because I didn't know like what was out there. I knew that
Yeah.
you know, I knew that every job would look different. And so it's like, okay, I suppose like I might be good enough for certain jobs, but yeah, I don't know. I think that's also something that I'm still even now like working through. Like, okay, like you do you're not completely I'm not completely like clueless. So it's like it's I am still working on like building the confidence to like just put myself out there a
Hmm.
little more, especially when it comes to job searches, because
Yeah.
that's extremely important. Um, but at the time, no, I was like, oh man, like I'm just like a fish out of water here. Like I don't know, I don't know how this
Yeah.
is gonna go. Yeah, yeah.
So, how has your experience been so far with the Correlation One program? I know we have about 3 weeks left. So, what has that journey been like?
Oh man. I will say like, and this like is the same from the Flatiron boot camp as well. Like so far the best thing to come out of it has been like the different people that I've met. Um, and that's not now that I think of it, that's probably has been the case in like every opportunity, like any job, school, all of that was like the best thing to come out of it, at least for me, has been like the connections I've made along the way. And
Yeah.
so that part has been great. And like the fact that they give us such a wide variety of people to interact with, and like even the different panels and speakers that come in, I don't think I was expecting that like prior to starting, but that has been a great joy.
Hmm.
um the work part of it has been stressful, I will not lie. No, it's been a bit stressful because I'm also, I think, I don't know, I am sometimes putting too much on my plate. And so I'm working. I have an internship as well, and
Okay.
so I'm like working as a full-time intern, and then also trying to balance that with this program with like my regular life. And so um, finding that balance has been difficult at times. Um, I am learning a lot along the way, and it's interesting that I'm even learning um, new things and concepts now that have been learned during the boot camp. So that's been great. Um, but yeah, no, it's been difficult but rewarding, I would say.
Okay, I'm glad you brought up that you're learning new concepts that you didn't learn in the boot camp, because I'm curious to know, like, how would you compare or contrast the two experiences? Because I know boot camps can be very, very pricey, but our program is free and it's the same amount of time. Well, actually, our program is part-time, but
Yeah.
the quality of the education that we're getting, like for me, I've never done a boot camp, but for me, like this, it's been really amazing. So how
Yeah.
would you compare the two?
Ooh. Um, I okay. Yeah. So it is. I have thought about this, and um, I'm like, I don't know that I've settled on an answer. I will say though that it is different because um my cohort, I think at its biggest size was maybe 16 people.
Oh,
Um,
wow. And we have
yeah,
like
so
1,000.
yeah, exactly, right. And that was a full-time program. So literally I was
Yeah.
immersed in it. Like some days I would go like days without even going outside. Like it was all
Yeah.
that I was doing for weeks at a time. And so um yeah, so in that way it is different. Like the amount of time that I had to dedicate to the boot camp versus the amount of time I had to dedicate to this is different. Um, but as far as the material goes, um, huh, um, strangely enough, it's still this might be like a cop out. I don't know. It's just it's different because the one thing I will say I feel like I was missing a little bit from the Flatiron boot camp was that some of the business context wasn't fully there. And
Mhm.
so
Okay.
one thing that I do appreciate about DS4A is that when they do like each week we spend the whole day talking about one certain business problem, and like that
Right.
is what the whole day, like each lecture, each activity, like that's what we're focusing on. And so it helps to really paint the picture, and they spend a lot of time saying, okay, this is what so
Yeah.
that part, I'm super grateful for this current program because I do feel like that was missing. On the other hand, even though again, like that, I say that Flatiron Bootcamp went super quickly because it did, and we're like learning a lot of information crammed into a short amount of time. Because it was full time, you do have a bit more time to sort of um, you have more time to sit with certain things. Not
Okay.
enough,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
enough
Yeah.
time, even still, but more time than you have at this boot camp.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's different. I think they're both valuable, like in their own ways.
Right.
Yes, like I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, yeah. So they're valuable in their own way. Um, Definitely finance is important to keep in mind as
Yeah.
because yeah, I would say there are a lot of programs out there that don't offer a money back guarantee. So if you are going to boot camp, make sure you look into like programs that offer money back guarantees. But DS4A is definitely like a good place to be.
Yeah.
Who can beat free, right? So like
No one. No one.
right.
Yeah, it's been awesome. The for me, the I don't know, the coursework and the amount of time that I've spent, like it was a steep learning curve. They do promote like the 20 hours, about 20 hours a week, because we do have, we have class all day
Yeah.
Saturday from 10 to 8, and then
Uh-huh.
the supplementary classes sprinkled
Hmm. Throughout the
throughout the
week. Yeah.
week. But I found myself the first 6 weeks, I would get up at 4:30 and study before logging into work at 6, and then study throughout the day after, work. And then in the evening, try to jump in a study group. Like, I was burning myself out major. I did burn myself out. And then I took like a week off.
Uh-huh.
Not really a week. Like, I just told myself, like, no, I'm not gonna study today. I'm gonna go I'm gonna go hang out. And
Yeah.
boy, that set me back like
I'm saying,
so many weeks. Like, I'm still trying to catch up, and that
yo,
was in like June.
that is honestly, that's currently how I feel. I'm like, all right, because yeah, that is currently how I feel. I'm like, oh snap! Like, I wanted to say, okay, I'm gonna try and create some sort of a semblance of work-life balance, and so I'm gonna enjoy like the days that like Sunday, which is literally the only day that I have to myself. I was like, you know what? Instead of trying to do extra work on Sunday, I'm gonna go see my friends. I'm gonna go like hang out. And now it's like, oh my gosh, there was 3 weeks left.
Yes.
Why?
Like, why did you do that?
Yeah, why did I do that? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I found that creating a schedule, like trying to stick to that schedule, like I have to stick to the schedule even during class. Like, I have my little coding journal, and I'll even put timestamps for the videos so that I know when I go back to review them, I know exactly where I need to study. So I'm not sitting there
Right.
for another 2 hours watching the whole video again.
Mm-hmm.
But tell us a little bit about your study techniques. Like, how do you study, and has the way you study now changed versus how maybe you studied during the boot camp?
Yes. Okay. So my study techniques have definitely changed. Only because of time.
Mhm.
I'm now splitting my time between um different things. And so
Yeah.
yeah, so honestly, I feel like I could be studying more. I do try to attend a couple of like the extra help um Zoom sessions that happen throughout the week. Um I would say though mostly this is bad, but mostly mostly I do just try to make sure I'm keeping up with the assignments.
Yeah.
And um nowadays I watch YouTube videos, and that's how I sort of, if there's something that I'm not quite understanding, I make sure to watch YouTube videos, or I rewatch lecture. That's been
Okay.
helpful too.
Yeah.
Um that's definitely helpful for me because you can pause it, you can say, wait a minute, what happened there?
Right.
Um
Right.
yeah, and that's something I came to late at the book, I almost said book club. At the boot camp. I it's funny because I actually was in a book club recently too. Um, yeah,
Girl, where
so
do you
that's
find the time?
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's wild. I'm also like, I started kickboxing classes. It's like I I have filled my schedule up to to the brim, but it's something I came to late during the boot camp where
Okay.
I was like, oh, like watching, it's amazing how like you're sitting in a lecture class and like you're being taught something and it's not quite sinking in. And literally like if I rewatch the lecture immediately after, everything makes so much more sense. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's funny, like just consuming something twice, it really does help cement some understanding. And so that's